Everything you could possibly ever want can be yours right now. I know some of you guys want, I don't know, $1 million, and that's a bit confusing. You're like, how can I get $1 million in my bank account like that? I think you're lying. Relax. Trust me, when you get to the end of this video, you will have a mindset that will completely change your outlook on life for the next 60 or 70 years that you're alive. Assuming you're like 20 years old and you die when you're like 90 or something. That's 6 or 7 decades of your life completely changed through a video that's 15 to 30 minutes long, okay? So I'm going to make some assumptions about you. You're 15 to 24 and you want to level up in life. I know what I'm going to tell you is going to work because not only have I gone from zero, or $10 to $50, I want to be exact, and living in a shed to having over $150,000 gross made, but I've also gone from being fat, being fit, and I've helped many other people go on a journey to improving themselves as well. So through the system I call TDFA, you don't need to see this whole web thing just to show you that I actually know what I'm talking about. So T of TDFA is the discipline life. If you are trying to change your life, if you're trying to improve your life, you have probably seen this dynamic. Society tells you, oh, go get a job after you get a degree. And then when you're like 65, you can retire, which isn't even true. We know that's a lie. We know they're lying. But then you get the gurus. It's like they call them people who don't understand how things work. And this isn't to say that what they teach doesn't necessarily work, but it's just a really inefficient way of going about it. Tell you, oh, you gotta hustle. You know? No sleep. Grind, grind, grind. They both tell you this thing. Use discipline. Show up when you don't want to. All this stuff. Both of them are wrong. So we've been told by society and YouTubers are both wrong. And I like to use an analogy to fully articulate this point. Okay, so we have the discipline defeater, we have Tom, we have Phil. So Tom loves his job. Tom shows up to work, and because he wants to do it, he makes really good work. He doesn't need to try to get to work. He just does it. He loves it. The work comes to him. He doesn't go to the work because he doesn't force it. He loves it. And then you got Phil, and Phil forces himself to work. And you know when you force yourself to do something, imagine last time your mom told you to clean your room, and you force yourself to do it. Did you clean your room that well? No. Because when you force it, when you're just using, discipline, you create crap work. All right? So this shows the dynamic between want and need. Or discipline. Because you're being needy when you use discipline, right? I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. There's no flow. There's no flow state at all. You realize, oh, well, if I want to do something, that's far more valuable than just needing to do it and using discipline. So why does everyone tell you to focus on this? You shouldn't be focusing on that. You should be focusing on finding out your wants and using your wants in order to propel yourself to success. So, fat people, right? Like this guy, Chris Christie, the politician. What do you think is a better idea? You telling him, okay, listen, we got to change your mindset so you can stop eating so much food. We're saying, okay, well, keep eating your food, but just take all these pills and lose the weight. Which seems like a better idea? Obviously the first one, right? That's shifting your wants. Using the pills is like using discipline. You have a deeper rooted issue if you need to use discipline all the time just to get through the task you want to do, supposedly, to change your life and to not do the things you shouldn't be doing that you know about, which we'll get into later. This is a very in-depth guide. So with that out of the way, that's a preliminary. We have D, dissecting what you want. So this is your dream self, and we can know the body, soul, and spirit. You understand that deep down in your soul, this is really where you are, who you are deep down. And your flesh and your body that kind of takes you off the path. So for example, when you think of your dream self, that's who you want to be, right? Does that guy jerk off? Is he eating a bunch of junk food? Does he have hate in his heart? No, right? But you want to be your dream self, right? So you don't actually want to do the bad stuff. Now, what does your dream self do? He works out. He's charismatic. That's another one. He makes money, right? So you realize you want to do this good stuff and you don't want to do this bad stuff. Let's go back to the discipline defeater really quickly. You already have this. When you look at this example, I've been like, yeah, but how am I ever going to want to work out? I always want to just eat junk food and jerk off to Ava Adams, No, you don't actually want to do that. When you look at yourself deep down, deep in your soul, those are things you don't actually desire. Those are things you don't actually want to do. Right? But you got to dig. You got to dig a little bit in order to understand these things. These are obvious things. Working out and jerking off, obviously one's good and one's bad. When you start getting deep into certain things like, how many kids do I want? What career do I want? It starts getting more interesting. That's when you have to start digging. You have to dissect yourself. You have to look at yourself and understand. And this requires thinking. And many people don't think because they're on TikTok going, that doesn't have to be you. You don't actually want to do that. Do you want to be on TikTok all day? Is your dream self on TikTok scrolling like? Probably not. So you don't actually want to do that in the first place. All right, but you do want to be a thinker, right? Your dream self is smart. He thinks. See, this applies to everything. Do you realize that all of your bad habits are just your body and flesh defying your soul, which is for short-term gratification, right? That you think is actually gratification, but actually makes you feel bad. I'm going to tell you that they tell you about long-term, short-term gratification. You can have good short-term gratification. You can feel good after working out. You feel good after being charismatic. It's not necessarily long-term. It's just the way you look at it. Everyone looks at things like a 2D perspective. Working out requires discipline and jerking off requires discipline. No, that's only one side of the square that you've been shown by the people you think are like, wow, whoa, those people know a lot. No. I'm telling you to shift that square a little bit, turn it into a 3D square. Okay, thank God it doesn't look terrible. And look at the other sides. You realize, oh wait, I don't actually want to do this crap, but I do want to do the stuff that's actually good for me. That's a much healthier perspective to look at it from. You don't actually want to be a loser. Now we have F. Find out who you are. We're going to build up on that. TDFA, this is the F. Let me give you a magic wand. Okay, don't get too caught in the magic part because I know some Christians going to be mad at me saying magic. You know what I mean, okay? No witchcraft. But magic wand as in you can have literally whatever you want right now. Whatever you want. Create your dream life. All right, so think about the house. Think about the wife. If you want one, if you want to be a monk, then okay, be a monk. Right? Whatever you want. Monk, what money do you have? I don't know, do you have a charity? I don't know. Do you want a charity? Or are you on YouTube making videos helping people? I don't know. Whatever you want. All right? And when you're doing this, it's very crucial you don't miss out on this part. So let me make sure I got this right here. So one of the primary limiting beliefs people feel is feeling like things are too big for them. So for example, I'm going to abuse money and houses or whatever. I know some people are like, oh, well, you're just materialistic. I'm going to go over later how it's not true, but also it's much easier to understand. Like these very abstract things like happiness, it's kind of like, it's harder to understand, but with quantifiable things like money, it's much easier. So for example, maybe you say, snap instinct, oh, I want $1 million. Yeah, $1 million is cool. But then your brain kind of attacks and goes like, no, that's way too much. No, there's no way we can make that much money. We need to make it less. Screw that. Without your brain's consent, override and go like, no, yeah, $1 million. That's in my dream line. Think big. Think about what you actually want. If you had this ability to just make whatever you want, what would you make? This is very important for figuring out what you actually want. And you also have to completely take out judgment from others. You have to figure out what you want, not what other people want. For example, let's say you go, or whatever, let me see, use black. You go like, oh, well, I want a girl with black hair. I really like black hair. Black hair is beautiful, whatever. That's what I want my wife to have. And then you think, oh, wait, but society says blondes are usually better looking, so maybe I should pick blonde. No. You're getting black hair girl. That's where you got to think. Now you're creating this whole entire dream life. What do you do when you wake up? You go to the bathroom. How do you piss? How do you shower? All this stuff. Literally everything. Be autistic. Spurg out a little bit. And then you must apply A, which is actualize and frame. So first I'm going to go over this really quickly. Removal versus addiction. Removal versus addition. This is actually how you get rid of addiction, so I thought of it. But everyone is a complete retard because they always go like, well, to get rid of porn, just like right on your, the Simpsons intro scene where Bart is writing on the board like, I am not a troublemaker or something like that, right? So let's do I do not like. Let's say someone says that to themselves over and over and over again. I do not like porn. I do not like porn. When you're thinking, I do not like porn, when you say that, what are you thinking of? Porn. So guess what? You're going to go watch a porn. You absolute retard. Do not focus on removing things, okay? The bad habits are like trolls, okay? Do you get rid of a troll by giving it attention? Like, oh, Mr. Troll, I think you're actually really sad in your life. I think you don't actually know what you're doing. I think you're this, I think you're that. The troll loves that. The troll wants your attention. You give the troll attention, the troll wins. Don't give the troll attention. Simply look at it like this. So this is with porn. This is junk food. It's all the way down here, right? And if you are like a little person, or if you're a person in general, I'm not going to use little person because that wouldn't make much sense with the example I'm about to make, but you're a person and you're all the way down here, right? You're like, oh, well, I want to get rid of these things. That's exactly what you're looking at. Porn, jerking off. So you can keep doing it, right? Porn, junk food. But let's say you go like, okay, well, I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start getting more charismatic. I'm going to start doing this, start doing that. Keep building. And you have this huge castle, right? Like all the bricks. It's an amazing castle drawing, isn't it? And then let's say you're all the way up to the castle. You don't look at it anymore. It's gone. You don't even think about it. The best way to get rid of your bad habits is just to build up a castle of all these skills, all these things you can learn, all of these things you can do to yourself, changing your body, changing your mindset. You build up this huge castle, you're at the top. What are you going to do? Like, oh, hey, porn, jerk it off. I'm going to do that again. No, you don't care about it anymore because you're all the way up here. You're focused on higher sides. Which the highest, some higher sides could be money, the girl. The ultimate highest sides is God. And when you focus on these things at the bottom, you move yourself away from God, which is ultimately what you want to avoid. And when I say building up this castle, I don't mean the Tower of Babel. Okay, don't be retarded. But I mean, you get closer to God, the higher you move up and away from these bad habits. Now, I'm going to use the Lambo illustration to fully get this point about wants across. And I've used this example on multiple different people that I'm teaching because this is a very powerful example. This completely changes your life. Okay, when I said this presentation was going to alter the way you look at life, I was primarily talking about this one illustration. So we have person one. Actually, let's give him a name. What should we name person one? Stay on him. Let's name him Edward. Let's name the other one Dennis. Okay, so Edward does not have the Lambo. He does not have a Lambo, but he feels like he has a Lambo. He feels like he has a Lambo, but he doesn't have a Lambo. Now let's look at Dennis. He has a Lambo, but he doesn't feel the Lambo. He doesn't feel like he has a Lambo. Which one would you rather be? Based on the many people I've asked this question, you'd rather be Edward, who feels like he has a Lambo, although you don't actually have the Lambo. Now, if you're smart, you would realize this is a life-changing assertion. You don't actually want the Lambo. You don't actually really care about the Lambo. You care about the feeling that it gives you. But you don't necessarily need the Lambo in order to feel the Lambo, you understand? That's two different things. For example, think about puppies, really cute puppies. Start smiling, start being happy. Oh, puppies, I love puppies. Now remove puppies from your train of thought. You're still going to smile, you still feel it. So feeling and thought, feeling and having two completely different things. In fact, if you think about puppies and you get happy, you don't even have puppies. Most likely. You probably don't have a bunch of puppies. I'm assuming you don't. I don't. And I still would get happy from it, but I don't have the puppies in physical reality. Quote reality. That's a very powerful thing. Understand? So what we have to do is take your dream life. So actually, to have this, I do have it already here. So this is a routine one of the people I work with made, and he based it on his dream self, his dream life. And as he does all these things, this is accordance with the fact he goes to school, he has to go to football practice, etc. So guess what? Start feeling your dream self. When you wake up, get out of bed like you are your dream self with everything you wanted from earlier, with no limiting beliefs. So, I don't know, if you have $1 million, you live in a huge house, this, that, and the third, feel it. Feel it. Feel it when you wake up. Feel it when you go to piss. Feel it when you shower. Feel it when you sit down. Feel it all day, and then you realize, I'm actually a lot closer than I think. Because I did this not too long ago, and I just okay, I'm going to piss like I'm the man. I'm going to wake up like I'm the man. Even the littlest things, I'm going to eat like I'm the man. I kind of realized, I get the feeling, but I'm still me right now. It's a bit abstract to explain, but you realize you're not that far off. Because it's not like people who make millions of dollars who you want to be, people who are where you want to be. It's not like they piss differently. They don't piss backwards, they don't piss in the air and then make it do swirls into the toilet. They piss like you do. They breathe the same air you do. They have the same issues as you. They have doubt, they have fear. I'm telling you, you saw the money I make earlier. It didn't make me oh my God, now my life's complete. No. Yeah, sure, it helps my family and all those other things, but it's not everything. What it's really coming down to is the feeling. Because you don't want to be the guy, if you don't follow his advice and you do hustle, you end up getting some results, you're never going to feel it. Because you haven't trained the feeling muscle. The feeling is a muscle you have to train. And the feeling muscle gets desensitized by things like porn, TikTok, etc. Feeling is really the fruit of life, if you think about it. I know that has negative connotations of the tree of life in the Garden of Eden, but, that's all I'm talking about. Anyways, so this leads to faith. I'm telling you about the 4 planes of existence. You have spirit, the spiritual realm, and that you can't go there. That's occupied by the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and angels and people in heaven. You can't go there yet. You have some connection to it because you have the Son who came down and you have the Holy Spirit, but you can't go up there yet. Okay? And so in your earthly life, you have full access to the astral, which is feeling, and then you have the mental, which is thought. Then you have the physical. Okay, these are the realms of existence, 4 of them, and you have primary access to 3 of them. Now, with faith is combining thought with feeling. So, for example, let's look at when you pray. When you pray, I want to forgive this guy, Lord, but you don't feel it. You're not actually forgiving. You can't just say, oh, well, yeah, I'm happy. That doesn't work. But let's say, I'm happy, and you add feeling. Now you're happy. You have to combine them. And all of them work in synergy, but feeling and thought work in synergy the most. Okay, you have to combine them. Think about it like the astral is like fire. It's like your passion. And we always use the term fire, right? When someone has passion, when someone works hard, they're like, oh, he's got the competitive spirit. He's got the fire, competitive fire. That's fire. That's feeling. When you feel stuff, that's fire. And you have water, which is thought. Well, thoughts flow. But when you get feeling, thought, what happens to water when you heat it up with a high fire, hot fire? Boils, then lets vapor off, steam. You know what that steam is? That steam is inspired action. Inspired action. That's what go for it. You're hungry for it. When you think about your dream self, like, oh yeah, he does this type of work. He does this, he does that. That creates feeling because, yeah, I want to be my dream self. Yeah, feeling. You're thinking of it. Create vapor, which leads to action that your dream self would take. So therefore, you get it in the physical. You get the results you get, but you're also able to feel it. You get to have all the realms, and assuming you believe in God, you get like supercharged, like faith on crack. You get all four of them in a way because you're connected to God through the Holy Spirit. You get crack faith, and not only living the physical, you're not the guy with the Lambo who doesn't feel like he's a Lambo. Now, you can be the guy who feels like he is a Lambo but doesn't have it yet. And then I'm the guy with the Lambo. Then you start having the inspired action of the guy who has the Lambo. So you start doing the work, start changing your mindset, start doing this, that, and then you get the Lambo. Now you're the guy that has a Lambo and feels like he has a Lambo. That's how it works. That's how you have to go about achieving your goals. And let's go back to discipline defeater. We talked about Tom is the winner because he wants. He doesn't use discipline. Everything I just told you doesn't require discipline. The inspired action, the vapor from the fire and the water is want. So guess what? You're going to go to do your job. You're going to go to do whatever you want. Remember, whatever you want. We talked about want earlier. And you're going to do it in a great way. And you're going to be happy when you do it. Now, I understand some of you guys might be like, well, that's great and all, but my dream self doesn't go to school. He doesn't go to chess club. He wakes up at a different time from when I have to wake up because I have to go to school. So I got to catch the bus. If I miss the bus, then I'm going to miss school and my mom's going to be mad at me. I understand. All you have to do is very simple. I said actualize and frame. All you have to do is frame it. So remember, 2D square, you can look at the square from one perspective and be like, well, my dream self doesn't do school, so therefore school, obviously you get a choice. You wouldn't go to school, you would be doing other stuff and you're making money. Or maybe if you want to become a lawyer, you have to. But you see the school, right? And like, oh, this is negative, 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 negative. Well, how about we turn the square into a 3D square? Try draw it again. Hopefully it looks good. It doesn't look too bad. Let's look at the other sides of the square. Right? And guess what? When you go to school, just be like, how would my dream self be if he went to school? How would he feel? How would he do things? Feeling, thoughts. And then guess what? You start enjoying school. You start enjoying things that are mandatory, that you don't really want to do, but you have to do. You start enjoying them because, if my dream self went to school, he would be charismatic, he'd be talking to girls, he would be getting good grades. He would do this, he would do that. He would walk like this. Feel it. Guess what? Now school's going to be amazing for you. You know what? You're going to get better results at school as well. Because always understand, other people, therefore the universe, so to speak. Because remember, when you're selling stuff, when you're teaching people stuff, when you're communicating with people, if they believe you, then you are going to get whatever you want. That's how you get money, right? And people give you money. People get convinced by the way you speak. People conform to people with strong frames because everyone's weak. They have to conform. If you're like half erect, then people start conforming around you. And then you start getting what you want. Other people will create your reality for you. Because not only will you believe in yourself, but other people will believe in you. So you're just culminating all this belief. How could you not be successful? That's how you stop your bad habits. Addition. And then achieve all your goals. At the very top of this castle, you're going to start building. If you really want to build up that castle much quicker, join the Discord and check out this other video.